What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some big news as former 5-division world champion, Olympic gold medalist, turned promoter and CEO and founder of Golden Boy Promotions, that being none other than Oscar, the Golden Boy De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya, he promotes undefeated, rising, welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender, Vergil Ortiz Jr. Vergil Ortiz Jr. is 18 wins, no losses, no draw, 18 big wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'10", with a 70-inch arm reach. With that said, Vergil Ortiz is going into a showdown with undefeated British superstar or British star boxer, title contender, undefeated Michael Mckinson. Okay, so that's scheduled to take place in March. So Vergil Ortiz Jr., he's number one in the WBC rankings, World Boxing Council rankings. He's also number one in the WBO, World Boxing Organization ranking system. And he's top 3 or 2 at the very least in the WBA and the IBF as well. So with that said, he's facing off against Michael Mckinson. But another guy, former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer, Keith one-time Thurman, who is 30 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'7" with a 68-inch arm reach. Okay, so Keith Thurman, he came back after a 2-year hiatus, 2.5-year hiatus, after suffering the only loss and only blemish on his resume to legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Okay, so with that said, the WBC, they decided to make Keith Thurman's comeback February 5th showdown against former WBA junior welterweight regular champion Mario Barrios. They decided to make that a title eliminator for Keith Thurman, okay? And so now Keith Thurman, he won against Mario Barrios, unanimous decision. And he is, essentially number 3 in the WBC title ranking system. So Vergil Ortiz Jr., he wants the opportunity to fight the winner of the highly anticipated mega unification showdown between undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. is 27 wins, no losses, no draw, 21 big wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He'll be facing off against World Boxing Association, WBA, welterweight world champion, Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas, who is 27 wins, 4 losses, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. That's scheduled to take place April 16th, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Dallas Cowboys Stadium, in which Keith Thurman is looking to get the winner of the fight. But Oscar De La Hoya, he states that there's other plans going to be in the making, because he stated that they want their opportunity for Vergil Ortiz to get his opportunity. Now, again, Vergil Ortiz is fighting Michael Mckinson. It looks like that's going to take place March 19th. And so after that fight, Vergil Ortiz he's highly favored to win the fight against Michael Mckinson, who's 21 wins, no losses, no draws. His 2 wins by way of KO. So to say he's not a big puncher is an understatement. So with that said, they want the opportunity for Vergil Ortiz to be able to face off against the winner. And the best way to get that opportunity is for now they want Vergil Ortiz to face off against Keith Thurman. Okay, so Oscar De La Hoya, he's saying that Keith Thurman is not going to get the opportunity to jump ahead of the line without them getting their opportunity. So like I said, Vergil Ortiz is ranked very high in all the ranking systems. Vergil Ortiz is ranked number 1 in the WBC. He's ranked number 1 in the WBO. He's top 3 in the other major sanction belts. So he wants his opportunity at the world title, and they will not allow Keith Thurman to jump ahead of the front of the line and get ahead on the opportunity for them. So with that said, one thing that's confusing to me is that Vergil Ortiz, he could have took the route of facing undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford. 38 wins, no losses, no draws, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. So Terrence Crawford had his fight against two-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Showtime Shawn Porter, November 20th. So Terrence Crawford right now is available right now, okay? He doesn't have an opponent, and Terrence Crawford has parted ways with his longtime promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, legendary promoter Bob Arum, and top-ranked in ESPN. So he's a promotional network free agent. And Vergil Ortiz is the mandatory for the WBO. So why not push for that fight? Okay, instead of fighting Michael Mckinson, why not be pushing to fight Terrence Crawford in your next fight? And that's for a title opportunity, okay? Why travel the path of least resistance, okay? Instead of going right into a title opportunity where Vergil Ortiz, he called out Terrence Crawford after he fought against former WBO junior welterweight world champion superstar boxer Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker. He fought Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker, who was trained by Terrence Crawford's team and Terrence Crawford's stablemate and Terrence Crawford's longtime trainer, mentor, and manager in Brian Bomac McIntyre, okay? And Vergil Ortiz, he stated that after he knocked out Maurice Hooker, he's gonna do so right in front of Terrence Crawford, and he's gonna call out Terrence Crawford. Well, why didn't he call out Terrence Crawford? That's the fight to be made, seeing as though Terrence Crawford is available now. Okay, Terrence Crawford, he's looking to fight the best names, the biggest names, but he's available, and you could push the WBO to mandate that you get your opportunity to fight against Terrence Crawford. That made more sense, opposed to fighting Michael Mckinson. You could be fighting Terrence Crawford in April or March, instead of fighting Michael Mckinson, and you're going into a title opportunity, and Terrence Crawford is widely considered to be the best fighter in the world. So not only are you going into a title opportunity, but you're going into a major fight. And you have the backing of Golden Boy Promotions, and you have the backing of DAZN, who are willing to put up the money for a Terrence Crawford Vergil Ortiz fight. So Terrence Crawford you don't have to worry about the network and the promotional barriers, because Terrence Crawford is a network promotional free agent. Now, there's word that Terrence Crawford is working with MTK Global, as an advisory team. But as far as a promotion and a network that he's tied down to and has obligations to, he doesn't have that. So Terrence Crawford could have made the fight with Vergil Ortiz. And after the fight against Maurice Hooker, he was asked about fighting against Terrence Crawford, and he stated that, was he ready? He was asked, well, are you ready for Terrence Crawford, and do you want that fight next? He said he don't know if he's ready, but he talked like he was ready, more than confident that he could beat Terrence Crawford. And after he knocked out Maurice Hooker in front of Terrence Crawford, he's coming after Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford was ringside, and Terrence Crawford was baiting him. Terrence Crawford was saying, listen, you ain't ready. You ain't ready. You want this fight? You ain't ready. You need time. And it seems like Terrence Crawford convinced Vergil Ortiz and his team and Oscar De La Hoya that he need time, okay? Because he stated in the post-fight that he don't know if he's ready, but he don't have a choice. He needs this title opportunity, okay? And then they went from that to not fighting Terrence Crawford, okay? So with that said, they decided to go the route of fighting Egis Kavalauskas, the Mean Machine, which was Terrence Crawford's, another guy that Terrence Crawford already beat. So just seems like they're not very confident. They wanted time. He only has, and I agree, he only has 18 fights in his career. Now he's knocked out everybody he's fought, but it seems like they like Oscar De La Hoya said that, he's been in a few tough fights. The Maurice Hooker fight and the Egis Kavalauskas fight, where he was badly hurt in that fight. Looked like he was going to get on the verge of getting knocked out, but he ended up knocking out Egis Kavalauskas in the 8th round of their fight. So he knocked out Maurice Hooker in the 7th round, then he knocked out Egis Kavalauskas in the 8th round of their fight. But the thing is, he should have been looking to fight Terrence Crawford, but I don't believe that they were ready. I believe that they were chomping, biting off more than they could chew, and barking up the Terrence Crawford tree. And I think that they, had a change of heart and listen, this is not the route we want to go. Let us get more experience. Let us get more seasoning and get our legs up under us, man, especially after that. He was getting touched up by Maurice Hooker, and he was definitely getting touched up by Egis Kavalauskas. So now they're saying that they're going to petition the WBC, President Mauricio Suleiman, to give them the fight with Keith Thurman as a title eliminator, not the Mario Barrios fight. So he's looking to fight Keith Thurman as a mandatory position. So the winner of the fight between him and Keith Thurman could fight for the mandatory position. Because we know Errol Spence, should he beat Yordenis Ugas, and should Yordenis Ugas at this juncture of their careers, they're looking to fight Terrence Crawford for undisputed. Okay, so Errol Spence, he said he got 2 fights at welterweight. This fight with Yordenis Ugas, and then he wants to fight against Terrence Crawford. Yordenis Ugas just came out. He stated that he beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs. He has one thing in mind, and that's after he beats Errol Spence, he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. Okay, so that would give Vergil Ortiz and Keith Thurman the position and the opportunity to be able to get another fight in, stay active, stay busy. And I think Keith Thurman, after his performance against Mario Barrios, he needs another fight. He didn't look that great to me. His timing wasn't there, his accuracy wasn't there, and I definitely feel like he needs more time. So a fight with Keith Thurman and Vergil Ortiz Jr. is a good fight. Now that's a tricky fight because Vergil Ortiz goes to the body very well. He has a lot of power. He's disciplined. He's very sharp. He's very, technically skilled in the ring. Has a good jab. He's big. He's strong. He's young. Keith Thurman has shown some vulnerabilities, especially when fighters go to the body. In his last 3 fights, his fight against Josito Lopez, he was badly hurt in that fight. The fight with Manny Pacquiao, he was dropped and then badly hurt in the 10th round of that fight. And then in his fight with Mario Barrios, he showed the ill effects of being hurt to the body once again, twice, where he had to spit out his mouthpiece and utilize the ring to survive the ring. Okay, so he's showing vulnerabilities. But Keith Thurman, boxing ability, Keith Thurman is going to get sharper. Keith Thurman does have power. Keith Thurman has a high ring IQ. He's athletic and he's strong. So that could prove to be a serious challenge for both guys, okay? But it could be a statement made for both guys as well. So I like the fight. I personally favor Keith Thurman to win the fight. I think he's more versatile, more skilled, just more fluid of an athlete. But if Vergil Ortiz Jr. Goes to the body and can get Keith Thurman hurt, he's a closer. And he's not, slow-footed as Josito Lopez or Mario Barrios. He's a much better athlete than they are. He's quicker than they are, and he's bigger and stronger than both of those guys are. So that would be a very tough task for Keith Thurman. But obviously, is Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy and DAZN going to do business with the PBC is the question. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But I think it's a great fight for both guys. And then the winner can fight, the winner of the Undisputed Showdown, whether it be Errol Spence, which I favor him to beat Yordenis Ugas versus Terrence Crawford or so on, because I believe the winner of that Undisputed match is going to vacate the belts anyway. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.